And then he says, I thought it was a bear. Now, that's a bit worrying, isn't it, that there's bears patrolling around? That took my anxiety levels up a notch, I can tell you. Welcome to Own It, Your Business in Your Life, with Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. In this podcast, we're going to cover everything you need to embrace to become a successful entrepreneur, marketing, money, and much, much more. How to create a business doing just what you love. How to own it, your business and your life. This one will be fast, funny, feisty, and very lively. So sit back and enjoy the show. Morning.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, great. I'm looking forward to this because we've got a lot in common from Judith's description.
I think we have.
Good stuff. So why don't we get started immediately by you telling the listeners who you are, what you do, and what you can do for them, and then how they can find you.
Okay. Well, my name's Lisa Warner, and I started a business called Think Cards 8 years ago, and it's all about creating conversations. So that's my passion, and something I've absolutely loved doing for about the past 8 years. And not last year, the year before, about 16 months ago, I woke up one morning and said to my husband, let's sell the house. And he was like, this was like the week before Christmas. And he was like, oh, no, maybe another time. I said, no, let's pop into the estate agents on the way to work, which we did. And we sold the house really quickly. And then
you can't just drop that one into conversation. Had there been any conversation at all about doing this and what you wanted to do? Did he know what you were on about?
Not really. Our 4 children had left home.
Oh,
and our house was quite empty, and we'd been there 20 years. I mean, we'd been there. You know, it'd been our family home where our children had all grown up, and it was just empty. And I literally we talked about selling, moving, but we had no idea where. Or what next? Yeah. And it was just I woke up one morning and was like, today's the day. And my husband, as always, was like, no, not today. and I did that. Well, look, let's just pop into the estate agents on the way.
That's called let's just get the file out, we call it.
Yeah. And that's what we did. And my husband was pretty sure that they'd say to us, oh, week before Christmas isn't a great time to put the house on the market. Come back after Christmas. But they didn't. They said, yes, we're desperate for houses in this area like yours. And that was it. So then we put the house on the market, and that was the next step, you see. I said, well, let's just put the house on the market, see what happens. Yeah. And then true to the estate agent's word, it did sell really quickly. And we were just like, what next? We had so many options. We could go anywhere, we could do anything, and that was quite paralyzing actually, to have so many options. So we were like, shall we move down to Cornwall, which is a place that we love and we'd spent lots of time? Shall we move abroad? The whole digital nomad thing, every time I said those words, my husband pulled a funny face.
Come back a little bit. So your cards are conversation prompts.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, we can talk a bit more about that later. But so, were you selling those online already? Was that a digital business? Yeah.
I'd been selling Think Cards since 2008 is when we started actually, and so it's been a long time. And
And isn't your husband an Amazon?
Well, yes, he sold his business about 3 years ago. He worked in promotional merchandise, and it was, so print and product is something that he had experience of, and he sold his business, which was great because he really didn't love it, and he'd done it for years, and he wanted to just do something while he was waiting, if you like, for the next thing to come along. So he created a couple of e-commerce businesses selling on eBay and Amazon.
Wow.
And yes, he's been doing that ever since, actually, and he loves it. And he now works a couple of days a week for a friend. He does the Amazon and the eBay stuff, and it's very practical, is my husband. So he does a lot of...
It's a really good fit, isn't it, Amazon, for people who are used to dealing with physical products?
Yeah. So we've had those going on in our lives. Well, think most definitely since 2008. So
Lisa, where do you live now?
We are living currently on a boat in Northampton town centre, which is quite random. So
I mean, you said that you had so many decisions, you were paralysed. I mean, how did you go anywhere before your boat, and how did you make the decisions?
Yeah, so I must say that after the house was sold and we were trying to decide, I then suggested to Glenn, my husband, that we get rid of everything we own.
Oh, this is radical stuff.
I know.
I've just been through this whole process, but the thought of people doing it when they don't have to, or they don't feel, that whole thing about moving away from pain towards pleasure. I mean, it seems like you were just you were doing it because of some strong sense that you needed to just throw everything up in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. And because things had been the same for a long time, as I said, we'd lived in the same house. People are so
scared of change. I'm amazed that you were able, and that you were able to talk your husband into it as well.
He takes some convincing. His first thing is always no, Lisa, I don't want to. And then a couple of days later, well, actually,
he starts to think about it.
He starts to think about it. And now, if you speak to him, he is the biggest advocate of getting rid of everything. And he found it so liberating.
Wow.
So liberating, because his garage was full, absolutely full, of 20 years, as was our house and our loft. I mean, 20 years of 4 children.
This might come in handy one day. That's what you say, isn't it? I'll keep that. That might come in handy one day.
That's it. But we got rid of everything. We donated a lot of it to a local charity. We sold some bits. We just got rid of everything. And then the day came to move out, and we still hadn't decided what we were going to do.
Oh my God.
I know. And my sister-in-law, who lives around the corner, very kindly said, come and stay with me until you decide. And we've stayed with her on and off until we bought the boat and moved on to the boat. But we spent a month in Spain. We knew we didn't want to live abroad. Well, not sort of buy a property abroad. We've got 5. Yeah, we've got 5 young grandchildren.
Okay.
And so that has a big bearing on.
I know. So I think I know that's going to make the difference when my 2 start having kids. I'll probably spend more time in England.
Yeah, I mean, technology is fantastic,
Not the same though, is it?
No, it's not the same. It's not the same. So, we spent some time in Spain. We've done some travelling. We decided towards the end of last year to buy the boat. And then we went through all of that process. And And we've moored in the town centre, which
That's so funny.
it's so typical, because when we bought the boat, we were like, where would, what do we want? So our goal for the next couple of years is to do some cruising,
It's a long boat then.
It is. It's not that long though. It's only 45 foot.
Forcing yourselves to keep minimal.
I know, but the amazing thing is, I looked around the boat this morning and it does not feel like we're living a minimal life. No. I don't feel that that we have very few possessions. Everything seems to fit fine, and I don't feel lacking in any way. Yeah. So it's
the same out here. I mean, I moved into this house. They left me a starter home kit of things, including a few nice glass, bowls and stuff. And I feel completely. I feel like I've actually got more than I've ever had, because it's fully equipped here. I don't need. I mean, I bought 4 towels yesterday down the supermarket and an air dryer for the kids, because they're arriving next week. But I, some stuff's arrived from IKEA, which is more changes of sheets and stuff. But I just feel everything. I don't need any more stuff.
No,
brilliant. So like your husband said, it's liberating.
It is a fantastic feeling, and also there's no need. I don't feel any need to buy anything, which is just fantastic. It really is. I'm absolutely loving.
We no longer use shopping as a recreational activity.
No, but that that's a big thing, because once you take that out of your life, you're just like,
so much time.
Yeah, I know, it's great.
That's brilliant. I'm sure that's intrigued our listeners, Lisa, to want to hear more about you and know more about your business and everything. So let's crack on with the usual agenda.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll learn some more about you and Glenn. Did you say?
Yeah.
As we go along. Good stuff. So what's your week been all about this week? Oh, hang on. I've got a son having a career crisis. So I'll just get rid of him. Hold on. I told him I can't just. You say I'm going to record the podcast now, and they just don't realise that means you can't talk. Right, tell me about your week. Sorry about that.
Okay, well, there's no getting around this. Actually, it's got to be said. So our whole week, in fact, our last couple of weeks, has been about celebrating and remembering my father-in-law, who died a couple of weeks ago. So. So sad, but we had it was a great day on Tuesday. It was his funeral, and we celebrated the vibrant and happy and wonderful man he was. So there's no getting around that. I was like, I really don't want that to be my week, but it is my week, and so I couldn't.
Own it, your business and your life. Remember, we don't shy away from talking about these things.
No, absolutely. And this is one of the reasons why our boat's been moored in Northampton for a couple of months when we've really wanted to be out cruising, is just because we wanted to have a permanent base,
hospice.
He was actually at home, but he'd been poorly for a long time, and so life's been on hold for a good few months, but on the other side of that, we recognise just how fortunate we've been to be able to have a life where we've been able to put things on hold, to do the things that we want to do in these last few months. So although it's incredibly sad, it's also a great time to remember, and also family's important to us, so for us all to gather and remember. So that's been my week, sadly.
So, like you say, though, isn't it awesome to have a business that trundles along in the background, and you don't have to beg someone for some time off, and have to put up with your team members tutting away, even though they express sympathy, but actually you're inconveniencing them. It's just wonderful. It's both of you have got businesses that you can just
just carry on regardless, don't they?
I mean, the conversation I've had with my husband over the last few months, thinking, can you imagine that, having to go through this and have a corporate job?
Yeah.
Where, so we feel incredibly lucky to have been able to have the last couple of months. So yes, that's been my week.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It's just listening to you, when you say things like, oh, it's a great day, and you think, oh my God, it's such a tough day, isn't it? And everyone's trying their very best to be brave and happy and upbeat.
Yeah.
And I remember it very well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my week's been a bit lighter.
Good.
Because, I'm here. I've had my first delicious stranger, as Judith and I call them, sign up for my Clicks and Leads Academy, my newly rebranded. I'm very happy with that name, and I'm very happy that I've got a new logo and silly things, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're a listener, Lisa, but my IKEA package has miraculously arrived from IKEA Athens.
Oh, fantastic!
I heard this rumpus on my doorstep last night, and it was Ari, who's one of the lovely waiters at Pefco Taverna, with a truck outside hurling my IKEA package onto the doorstep on his way to go and fix. Because Elias, who owns Pefco, owns a lot of properties around here, and they're all full of tourists, of course.
Right.
So they're very busy at the moment. So he was literally hurling my package onto the doorstep as he went past to fix something somewhere. But how good-natured of people to let you deliver their packages to their taverna, and then one of their waiters brings them up to you. I haven't actually opened it yet, but it's got IKEA Athens stamped all over it, so I'm sure it's got the things in it that I wanted. But, the other fun. I mean, I'm always very aware of the funny side of living here, and I think that's half the fun, really. But I came out here with a lot high anxiety levels. I mean, I'd also been through a bad experience, but and my anxiety levels were, in no particular order, the insects, the serial killers, and swimming over rocks and seaweed, which I'm not keen on, and how to walk home in the dark, because I'm up a little hill, and it's a 15-minute walk max to the village. But coming back is uphill, which is tough going after you've had dinner. But there's a dark patch where there's a street light out. And on either side of the lane, it's a little lane really, there's olive groves, and they're quite dark at night unless there's a full moon. But I've got over all my fears. There's dogs, but they're on chains usually because they're guard dogs. There's bulls, but they're generally fettered. They've got the hobble things on their ankles. Yeah. And they move around, so you never know which olive groves are going to be in, but they're put in there to eat the vegetation down, which is a fire hazard. Right. So, there's all these things. There's cats. I'm getting used to cats, and I don't mind them. I sleep at night with we have several sets of doors. We have glass doors, wooden shutters, and fly screens. And I've got to the point where it's so hot now, I'm just sleeping with the fly screens down, because A, it keeps the insects out, and B, it keeps the cats out. So I'm cool with that. And there's jackals. But they don't tend to come near people's houses, but you can hear them howling away in the hills. So it's all quite exciting on the wildlife front. But I've got over my anxieties. But then I read on Facebook, now I'm going to have to pause things. Oh, here we are, right. So this was shared by someone who I know lives in the next village. Coming home last night, just outside the village, spotted something by the side of the road. At first I thought it was a bull. As I got to within 100 metres, I thought it was a bear. And then 50 metres, I realised it was a massive wild boar. Its back was as high as the roof of the car. Be careful if you're hiking around Proastio at the moment. Think maybe it was looking for water. It was in an area where there was a small stream. Well, there's several things to be concerned about in that. One is that it was a bull. Well, okay, in fact, I have encountered bulls that are not hobbled. When I was driving the kids down a high street one day, a bull came towards me. And then he says, I thought it was a bear. Now, that's a bit worrying, isn't it, that there's bears patrolling around? And the fact that it might be a wild boar where its back is as high as the roof of the car, that took my anxiety levels up a notch, I can tell you.
Well, but the great thing is, it does make spiders seem way less scary, doesn't it? Small insects, and you think, well, with a wild boar that big on the loose.
I know, hilarious. Anyway, Phoebe and Nelson arrive on Tuesday, so we will have a hire car for a week. So because normally, the thought of walking home and meeting a wild boar on the side of a car is a bit terrifying. But so we're having a welcome party for them on Tuesday, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to driving them around and showing them all my favourite places. So
yeah, I bet
a good week.
Yeah, that sounds excellent. Excellent.
What's fueled your fire then?
Oh, well, Nicola, I don't even know where to start with this one. Well, I have found my dream job. Now, yeah, I said that correctly. Job, right? So the other day I came across this job and I just read it and I was like, that is such a great job. I would actually go there, do that job for nothing because I would so love to do that job. So let me tell you about it. This has thrown me into a complete, I can't tell you the disruption it's caused in my week. So it's a talent coordinator for a media agency, and it's looking after YouTube talent.
Oh, this sounds awesome.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? It just sounds like, I read it and I was just like, that sounds like the best job in the world. Oh, Nicola, you're not going to believe this. It's like a 3-minute walk from where the boat is moored. Yeah. I know nothing decent ever happens in Northampton, and this job crops up. And I'm just like, I reread it about 50 times, and then I'm like, I love the sound of this job. And this isn't, in the early days of Think, sometimes when, things weren't going very well, I'd think, I need to, get a job, stop this dreaming and get a job. This isn't like that. This isn't like I'm looking for a job. This is like my dream job has appeared on my doorstep.
So have you done, I know this sounds like a bit of an aside, but have you done your wealth dynamics profile? Are you a supporter profile, do you think?
I am a supporter profile, yeah. I did it a long time ago, and it was a supporter. And I was quite sad about that because I really wanted to be a star.
Yeah, of course.
Does everyone want to be a star?
But, star is next to supporter, so perhaps you're sort of sit in the middle. So also your Think cards, that's very facilitating good conversations is very much a supporter strength, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I just love the sound of this job, and I could do this. Well, that slight thing that puts me off is I think they're looking for someone at least half my age. The way it's written, it's a very young and new agency.
It sounds like it's an agency like Social Chain in Manchester, where they look after lots of influencers.
Yes, yeah.
Influencers. Oh, I think you should apply. They might take you on. You never know. They might want someone a bit more mumsy, who's going to look after them in a mummy kind of way.
Yeah. So I am, I love YouTube. I've got my own, vlog that I've started.
Well, I was going to ask you about that too, because Judith told me that you you vlogged your journey, and I went looking for your vlogs, and on your website or Facebook page, I found about 3. Oh, how many have you got? A lot more on YouTube.
Well, I mean, I've always done sort of video with Think and I've always enjoyed doing video, but I started A Life Full of Meaning at Christmas time. Actually, I wanted to learn how to video edit, and I thought that the whole, getting rid of the house and deciding where we're going and buying the boat. It was a topic. People were always asking me how I was getting on, so I created a vlog for that, and that's what I'll do is I'll send you the link to that, and you can.
I'd love to watch some of them.
Yeah, so I'm just absolutely loving both video and video editing.
It's
so
really creative, isn't it? It's really good fun. I like it too.
I love it. So this job is perfect. So I've decided that I am going to apply, and
Good.
yes, and I've written a CV last night, which was, it's so hard when you've been, self-employed for so long, because you do everything when you've got a small business, when it comes to marketing and, so.
You're not writing a traditional CV, are you? You're writing one that starts with your skills and strengths and talents.
Yeah, I did. And not only have I done that, but I have, I've emailed Tara, my friend Tara, who's a great graphic designer, and said, Tara, can you help me?
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's come back and said, of course. So I'm going to actually do a video.
That's a good idea.
As part of the CV. So I'm going to do it. No, I'm just going to apply and let's see what happens. But it's a great job. And also the way I look at it is, I probably won't want to do any job for more than, a couple of years at the most. And I always see a job like this is just like getting paid for training to do something. Yeah. That's the way I see it. So but I am super excited about it.
Yeah. Well, that's brilliant. Oh, very exciting, I must say. It's funny because I watch I watch Steve Bartlett, Everyday Steve.
Yeah.
He's a bit like the UK's Gary Vee, and I got to know him because one of my clients went to speak for his social chain agency at one of their lunchtime learning sessions.
Right.
So she put me onto him, and I really enjoy it. And I know that they have, because they've got the biggest collection of YouTube student orientated influencers in Europe, probably.
Right.
And that's how they can, they really have got people with pages of millions of genuine followers. So it's a really interesting concept. And I find it, because Phoebe's a YouTube influencer now herself, she's invited to things, and she works for a business coach who very much specializes in the motivational market, and she does all his social media for him. So it's just, I find the whole thing very interesting. I come from the music industry, and I was a music manager. I used to manage DJs and producers, and so it's very much a similar kind of role, looking after talent and influencers, which is fascinating. Anyway, let's crack on. What's fueled my fire this week? I've been looking at my V-zine promotion figures. Judith will roll her eyes and groan at this point. I just thought it might be useful to share what I do with the V-zine, because obviously I record it, Phoebe edits it, it goes onto YouTube, it then goes onto Facebook natively, which means we upload it to Facebook without sharing it from YouTube. And then I take it and I make 3 little ads every week, and I advertise the V-zine to people who like Gary Vaynerchuk, people who have watched, who have engaged with my page in any way. I have commented, liked, whatever, done any kind of page engagement, and people who have who look like the people who've watched the videos through to 50%. So when you put a video on Facebook, you can actually create an audience out of people who watch it more than 50% or 95% and 25% actually. So I do the 3, and then I create a lookalike audience, which is constantly refreshing itself by the new people who watch the videos, because every week the videos change. So you're showing a different video, you're showing it to the same audience, but different people are watching different videos depending on what the topics are. So I have 3 audiences. I spend £5 a day boosting the videos to the 3 audiences, and I get views that cost me between 1 and 2p per 3-second views. Now, this is how Facebook determines the success of a video on an ad. Well, in fact, that's how they determine the success of a video on an ad. So, are you paying 1 to 2p, which is obviously the lowest you can pay, or are you paying 6 to 7p? In the beginning, when I started, I was paying 6 to 7p per view, 3-second view. Now I'm paying 1 to 2p. So that's, I can't do any better than that, because I don't think it goes any lower than that. But then today I was looking at the actual stats, because it's difficult to tell, because very few people click on a video to go through to a website. So what you're doing is you're building an audience and you're engaging people and letting them know who you are. And so what I do now is I track how many people watch it through to 50% and how many people watch it through to 95%. because those are the people that I then advertise my free offers to. So my opt-ins for my Be Everywhere online course, my How to Market Any Business Online book, and a new thing that I'm going to tell you about a bit later on in the show.
Yeah.
So you don't advertise to cold audiences. You advertise to people who've engaged with your videos and watched through to 50% at least. And what I found was that in 1 week, 7,211 people saw the videos and saw them for at least 3 seconds. And that cost me £15. But out of those numbers, 90 people watched through to 50%. So that's like I'm paying £15 to get 90 new engaged prospects, because I can advertise to those people now. And then out of those, which is what a 1.2% conversion from video views to watching half of it. And then on how many people watch through to 95%, 73% of the people who watched through to 50% carried on watching to the end, which I'm really pleased with, because it you know, anyone who makes a video knows that, you know, people get bored and drop off. And my videos aren't that exciting. I have to put
I don't know. I'm loving your.
Well, thank you. I haven't really been out and about very much because there's so many tourists, and you feel like such a fool. And it's so hot. I've been doing them, you know, and the cicadas are so loud. I've been doing them from my living room. But I think that's a good way if you're starting from scratch and you don't have a mailing list. Create videos and then take them and boost them to targeted audiences, and track how many people watch them through to 50% and 95%, and see what your percentages come out at. You know, 73% means if they watch through halfway through, they're going to watch to the end, which is great. But that gives me £15 gives me 90 to 100 new engaged prospects to make my offers to every week without needing a mailing list, which is quite
fantastic.
Quite an interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a good tip on video, how to use your videos to build an audience without needing a list. Here at Own It, we personally believe that leaders are readers, but sometimes it's just not convenient to read and you'd rather listen instead. For listeners of Own It the podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. A couple of titles we've picked out for you particularly are Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg or Crush It, Why Now is the Time to Cash In on Your Passion by Gary Vaynerchuk. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/ownit. Again, that's audibletrial.com/ownit for your free audiobook. You can pick one of the ones I've chosen for you, or you can choose something else. Enjoy your listen. Let's crack on to Client Challenge of the Week then. What have you got for me? Because you'll bring.
Wow. This is one that's got me scratching my head actually. So I'll really appreciate your view on this. So my friend Wendy, she's an Australian artist, and she's been travelling around the UK on a narrowboat. Funnily enough. Okay. And she's created a site called artsy.com. So artsy spelled RTZEE.com.
RTZEE.com. Yeah.
.com. And it's a marketplace site for artists to sell their artwork. And I think she's done a great job of building the site. It looks great. And she has based this on a model of a marketplace site in Australia, which is really popular. And she's sold lots of her work online. So she's built this site, and I've offered to help her because she's currently touring on her boat at the moment. And I looked at this, and I'm used to selling online. You know, Fink's had a site, and we've had a product, and you know, I've done that for years, and I'm a bit stumped with this because number one, you need to sign up the artist to have your products to sell. And then number two, you need to get the customers to come to the site to buy the artwork. And I've just been wondering how on earth that you compete with the bigger established marketplaces like Etsy, and not on the high street, for example, when starting a site like this from scratch. So that's so any
Wow, that's a massive challenge, that one. I love them. Okay, all right. So yes, it's I started my career back in the midst of time online with a site called artistmanager.com.
Right.
And it was matching up aspiring artists. It was just when Pop Idol had started, which was the foreword to to the X Factor and everything. And hundreds of thousands of people were queuing for Pop Idol to audition. And I knew, because my sister's a singer, and I'd worked in the music industry, that was hundreds of thousands of people who needed, they actually needed a manager before they needed a record deal. And there were only, literally, record labels sign about 3 people a year. So, they're never going to get signed to a big label, although that's their dream. So I thought there is, and I also knew, because I was a music manager myself, and I managed a team called Mind Chime. And one day the producer, composer, writer decided he didn't want to do music anymore. He wanted to do video. And so I was suddenly a manager without an artist. And I didn't know how to go about finding a new artist to manage. And so I had this matchup site, and it was the early days of search engine optimization. So I also knew that, user generated content was very helpful for the search engine. So the name was good. The site was containing new content that the aspiring artists, it was a hungry market. Yeah. And it was a market where the managers could immediately see the benefits to them. So, it needed managers to get on the site because that would attract the artists. But it also needed lots and lots and lots of artists because they were the ones who were going to pay me £5 a month.
Yeah.
And £5 a month, I thought their parents would pay if they couldn't or wouldn't. So, if I was a stage mum, as I have been known to be on occasions, I would easily pay £5 a month just to keep my daughter or son happy if they were looking for a manager.
Yeah.
And I thought, there could be all sorts of content, like blogs hadn't been invented then, but I thought there could be, I knew about putting pages on the site that had content and that the search engines loved that. So it was all going very well. I was invited to go on Dragon's Den. I was pitching to VC, venture capital people around 2000, just as the dot-com bubble burst. And the problem with that site was, for me, was that I needed techie people to keep it running because it was a database-driven site and it had to work, or you lost your, people. If someone comes to this site and it doesn't work, it's game over, isn't it, really? Because they'll never come back. So what you've got here is a database-driven site. Did you say she did all the coding, or she got people to do the coding for her?
I think her and her husband did it. I think
he's a tech, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you said that she was selling on a site in Australia.
Yes, and do you know what? I can't remember the name of the site.
It doesn't matter. But she must have realised that there was something that site didn't give her that she wanted this site to do.
Yes, absolutely. So this site, she has built it so it's really favourable to artists. So it's all the stuff that and that's the terms for the artists are really good. There's no restrictions on what you can upload, and so that's, she's built it with that in mind.
Okay.
So
it's easy to get in front of artists on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes,
she's presumably got an Instagram account for this because she.
Yes, she has. So I mean, it's something that she built.
Staff pics as well, very nice. Just sold. Yeah, it's a nice site. I'm liking the features.
Yeah.
Oh, except it doesn't.
Oh yeah. Apart from that, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it is. It's something she's built, and then was almost going to walk away from because it takes some time and energy. And
does she not have any advertising budget? Is that the issue?
Yeah, I don't think she's going to want to spend much in advertising.
This is a real I find this completely fascinating. People put all their time and energy into developing a really highly complex product, but they don't have any marketing budget. I mean, why would you go to all this trouble? I suppose people hope that it's going to take off virally.
Yeah.
But it's never going to. You've got to start with the premise that nothing's going to take off virally. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's the what one thing is going to make the difference thinking.
Yeah.
And we all lurch from the next one thing to the next one thing to the next one thing. And sometimes people give up before they find the one thing that does make the difference. But actually, it's never one thing that makes a difference. It's all the stuff you've done to date. There's some nice stuff on here, but it's not enough of it.
No, absolutely.
I'm going to human image because I love line drawings of human form. That's my favourite kind of art. And there's only 7 things on it. So, and they're expensive, seriously expensive. Yeah. So although I like this thing about artwork under 150, I love that pig. That pig is good. Yeah. But the dog's lovely too, but there's only one artist there that I can see.
Yeah.
So she urgently needs to get in front of lots of artists very quickly. And she can do that by using the Gary V Instagram method, which is to get all of these things on her Instagram as possible. Get some Instagram promotional posts, where you have a meme. So perhaps, she has some sort of background with the 3 key points of why an artist should come and list their artwork here. And then she should be searching for, she needs some influencers. She basically needs some art influencers to come and list their site on here and promote their stuff on this site. So she should be putting in the hashtag, contemporary art, flora and fauna, and then hashtag art, floral art, impressionism. She should be going and putting in those hashtags, and what will come up on the first page are the people who are the biggest influencers in that particular field. She should sit and click through on each of them meticulously. This is a job that can be outsourced. But if she hasn't got the money to do it, she'll have to do it herself. And she will eventually find the top 10 influencers in each of these categories that she's got on the site. And then she should direct message them with an invite to set them up on the site. I presume the artists don't pay.
No.
So she should offer to set them up on the site, because that will be the barrier for artists doing it. They don't know how to do it. They're not very technical. They don't want to spend the time. What's in it for them? But if she finds big influencers and sets them up on the site for them, and then they start tweeting or sharing their stuff on Instagram or sharing links to their latest artwork on here, she'll start getting massive amounts of traffic. And if she hashtags her own Instagram posts correctly, for example, she would hashtag this hashtag pigs of Instagram, hashtag animal art, hashtag, just look for any fine hashtags, because there will be a pigs of Instagram. There'll be pig obsessives out there who love this picture. Yeah. So then she's then got to attract the buyers.
Right.
And the buyers will come if there's lots of gorgeous art on the site. But she needs to be using, I would say, Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. And those 3 are the most important. But she should also be thinking about making, so when she puts a new artist on the site, she needs to get all of their paintings into a short video and put that onto a YouTube channel. Yeah, and then share that video make it under a minute if she can. Yeah. Share it on Instagram and share it on the Facebook page too. There's so much you could do with this.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why I said I'd help her, because it is, I think there's such potential here to do something.
But she needs lots of traffic very quickly, and that will come from influencers who are artists themselves, or graphic designers, or art appreciation. She's got to find the influencers in each of these categories, and it'll be a lot easier if she goes in like seascape art. There's not. She needs more stuff on here. That's what will bring the buyers. This is lovely. Yeah. See, that would make a lovely video, wouldn't it? If you put those just like how to do video editing, don't you? You just fade one picture into the next. Keep it under a minute so you can put it on Instagram. Keep it, it'll fly on Facebook. Give people a chance to share it on Facebook. It'll be amazing. But also start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, most definitely. That's brilliant. That's really helpful. Thank you. There's lots to go on there.
And then once she starts making some money, so tell me how she makes money from this. What's the business model?
So when the artists sell, when the painting sells, there's a commission.
Yeah.
So that's,
she really needs to think about that business model.
Yeah.
She needs to have perhaps a tiny a monthly or an annual membership to be able to list your art, and she can start small and go up, and she can waive that fee then for these influencers that she can get on, which is more value for them. A, she's going to set it all up for them. B, she's waiving the fee.
Yeah.
And you could make the fee something like £10 a month or 79 or 79 pounds a year. Do it in dollars though. See, something like this is a very UK based site, isn't it? Because it's in pounds.
Yeah.
So is her shopping cart? I mean, she needs to go global with this.
Yeah, I think when she set it up with the UK in mind. I think that was
question.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Now that's probably quite a bit of work, So what she could do is she could just add to the basket. Yeah, if she's using any kind of decent shopping cart facility, she'll be able to list in more than one. Just dollars and pounds, that'll do it.
Yeah, dollars and pounds.
I met a guy on a beach. I don't know if you heard that episode when I went to stay with Irene. We met a guy on a beach who makes driftwood art and sea glass art.
Right.
And he sells from his own website, or he might even have a Shopify site. Yeah. And he sells globally all day long.
Does he? Yeah,
and he ships his stuff all over the world.
Yeah. Lots to think about there.
Really lovely site. I like the fact that I can look for cheap stuff. Cheaper stuff, not cheap, but it's obviously £5. But someone who loves pigs, that is a great pig picture.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
You actually look at the close-ups as well. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Steve would have loved this. He loves pigs.
Oh.
Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, I don't think she should walk away from it. If she wants to sell it, then or if she doesn't want to work with it anymore and herself, then she should look to bring on a partner, a marketing based partner who because I had real problems with Artist Manager because the techies were so recalcitrant. But what I should have done was tried harder to find someone who would do the tech.
Yeah.
Because I should never walk away from a site like this. Is it getting any traffic? I don't know. Has it got?
No, I don't think it's getting a great deal of traffic right now.
Well, she needs to do social media marketing, find influencers, get it selling in dollars, and then work her ass off. And if she doesn't want to do that, she needs to sell it to someone who's going to do the work in return for the, instead of buying it with money. They can buy it with work, but she can protect herself by having, saying, okay, you have it, you run it, you drive the thing, and I'll just have a 10% royalty on any sales in perpetuity.
Yeah, that's a great plan. That's brilliant. Loads to go back to her with that. So that's brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, so let's crack on then. Let me, it's word of the week time.
Okay, right, word of the week. I came up with 3 Ds actually. Doubt, decisions and deliberation. This is all to do with...
Judith would never let you get away with that.
No, I'm going to pick one. They were my shortlist. And I'm going with deliberation because I have been deliberating over this job because it's a lot more than just taking a job. It'd be a complete change of our lifestyle if I was to actually get it. But yeah, deliberation is mine. What's yours?
Oh, reality. Because not a word I'm usually very familiar with. But I've got this dilemma with my son. He's a music producer and a DJ, and he's taught himself all of that, and so I know he's bright and talented. He works in a gastro pub like my daughter did. He earns, I don't know how much they earn. It must be about £7 or £8 an hour plus tips. Yeah. And he lives down the road, so he literally walks to his work in 2 minutes. All his friends are starting to get proper jobs, and he's starting to think, I want to get a proper job. Because he doesn't really fit. He feels he'll always do his music as a hobby, which breaks my heart, because I think if he's passionate about music, he should go for it. Because at this time of his life, his dad's not pressuring him to pay too much rent. He's got the opportunity to follow his dream, but he feels he's drifting, and I understand that. So he has been interviewed for and actually offered a job as a sales administrator for an aviation company, and my heart is on the floor about this. I'm trying to encourage him and back him up and everything, but I'm just thinking that he's throwing himself into the corporate machine, and he's not doing what you said earlier, which was so sensible, which was to choose, if you've got to work, choose a job that's going to give you training. His dad's a great salesman. I'm no slouch on the sales department, so I think he's probably got the salesman genes in him. And I think if you're going to do anything and you don't really know what you want to do, try your hand at sales, because if you can learn to be a good salesperson, you'll always be in demand. So these are the conversations we've been having this week. And then he told me how much the salary was, which sounds like a lot of money to him. Yeah. Because he's only working part-time in a pub. And actually, I worked it out that once you take out holidays and you add in the time, because it's going to take him an hour to get there and an hour to get back every day. And then he's there from 9 till 5, say. And I worked out that he's actually going after tax and after travel and after even taking the holidays into account, he's going to be earning £6.13 an hour. Yeah. Now, is the reality that he wants to earn £6.13 an hour to go and do a job where he's not actually learning anything for the future? I don't know if that's a good decision or not, and I'm trying not to be negative, because I love my kids and I want to support them, but that is a big challenge, isn't it? And I don't think many people sit down and work out that if they go and do that job, they're actually going to be earning less than they are at the pub. And they're stuck. They're stuck in another town in an office from 9 to 5 and they can't get out. Terrified of him disappearing into the corporate machine, never to be seen again. And then worse than that, he'll want a car, then he'll want a flat, then he'll get a girlfriend, and then they'll want to get married and have kids, and he'll be trapped forever. I'm terrified for him.
Oh, I know exactly where you're coming from with that, with 4 children. And I understand that completely. It's difficult, isn't it? Because I think we see things from such a different perspective.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, everyone else is thinking, it's about time he got himself a job. Yeah, and that's what everyone does, and it's normal. But I've managed to fix him up with a coffee with one of my entrepreneurial mates. So he does have 2 vacancies coming up in the near future in a really fast-growing, exciting part of the industry, which is gamification. Right. So he and Pete just come back from Kuala Lumpur. He goes to Kuala Lumpur to speak about gamification. He's like one of the global experts on it. And I'm going to fix up for Nelson to go and talk to him, because Pete's been an entrepreneur all his life, and I hope he'll help Nelson to think about things. I just don't want him to rush into anything,
Yeah, I understand that.
Reality doesn't listen to this podcast, so I'm all right talking about it.
Yeah, it's a tough one, that is, isn't it?
What's your project updates then?
Well, I've got a bit of a blank on this one, because obviously the last month or so we've been wrapped up in family stuff, so everything has taken a complete back burner, and I'm okay with that. So no updates to report.
That's all right. You're allowed. This is traditionally rather short section of the podcast, because I generally just report on the podcast itself. Yeah. So Judith, for your benefit, on the 24th of August, we are already nearly the same downloads as July, so we're going to top July's downloads, so it's a positive month for us. I was looking at the reviews. We've had 28 reviews in the UK between 2015 and 2017. We had 32 reviews in the USA, But they were all in 2015. So if there's anyone listening in the USA that loves the show, if you could go and give us a review, that would be fantastic, because it'll be most up to date. 4 reviews in Australia. Thank you very much, you Aussies. But nothing in Canada. So, and the reason I know about Canada is I went and had a look because I had a chat with an old coaching mate of mine who I haven't talked to for many years, and she's in Canada. So I'm going to send her a copy of the podcast and ask her to give it a review. Go on.
I was going to say, and how do people leave a review? They go to iTunes?
Yeah, no, if you go to ownitthepodcast.com and then click into any of the episodes, there's a short 2-minute video that shows you how to review on iTunes. I'm really sorry, I'm an iPhone user, so I'm very heavily focused on iTunes, and also the fact that cars are coming off the production line now with the iTunes Entertainment Center embedded in them. So that means a lot of people are going to be listening through the iTunes interface. So that's why I'm so fixated on that. So thank you very much. We need up-to-date USA reviews, and we need one or two review in Canada. If you're listening in Canada, I'll be very grateful. Who or what's impressed then on the last 5 or 6?
Okay, this is going to sound like a tongue twister. Okay, the piping hot piper from Peterborough has impressed me this week.
The what? Say it again.
The piping hot piper from Peterborough has impressed me. So this is a guy called James Stewart, and he's a piper. He's
what is that?
A Scottish piper, bagpipe player.
Bagpipes,
yeah.
Right, okay.
So he played at my father-in-law's funeral this week, and which was wonderful. But the reason why he's impressed me was this guy just went above and beyond what he was paid to do, and this is this guy's job. So he's a professional bagpipe player, and he came and he played as the cars left the house. He played at brought the whole high street of London Coney to a standstill with this amazing piping. And he then was at the crematorium. He played before the service. He played after the service.
Oh, see, I want this now.
I mean, the guy was amazing. He then came to the wake. He then played for 15 minutes non-stop, which is a long time.
And was it all Scottish tunes, or was he playing
all Scottish tunes? So my father-in-law was in the Scots Guards.
Oh, no.
So he played. He then stayed and talked to, I think, everybody there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I thought, this is this guy's job. He gets paid, to turn up at events and play the bagpipes. I just felt he went above and beyond.
The website, give Judith the link so we can.
I will do. He was amazing. The piping hot piper from Peterborough.
That's very good. It sounds awesome. I love bagpipe.
Yeah, he was amazing. What about you?
Well, I have been impressed this week by the Thrive plugin, which makes quizzes on your WordPress website, and you don't have to be using a Thrive theme to do it. And it's a one-off payment, because I've been looking at all the different quiz software. Obviously, there's a monthly charge for most of them. So this one was $67. Anything made by Thrive has got an excellent reputation. So it's, really good kit. And I downloaded it on Monday lunchtime, and by Monday tea time, I had a 9 or 12 question quiz up, and you've got 3 different types of quiz you can do. I chose the one where each answer is weighted, so it's given a score of 1 to 3, and then at the end people are given a customized result, so that basically I was trying to find out whether they're a newbie online entrepreneur, an intermediate online entrepreneur, and an advanced online entrepreneur. So they come to the page. It's all mobile friendly, very fast. It comes to the page where they get the result, and then on that page you can put an opt-in box where people can opt in to get personalized feedback on and recommendations for what they can do next, and where they can get more resources. So it was a really, really lovely to use, easy, very intuitive. I only had to look at a couple of things on Google, to integrate with my Infusionsoft. $67 one-off payment, and you can make any kind of quiz you like on your website.
Ah, that's fabulous.
Yeah,
what a good find. Yeah, love it.
So that's us. That's done. Lisa, have you enjoyed yourself?
I've had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I've had a good time too. That's lovely. So Judith will have all the fun of listening to it now, and we'll let you know when you go live, all right?
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Gotta take it on my way. It's a brand new.
You've been listening to Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. The podcast is called Own It, Your Business and Your Life. Do come and visit us at ownitthepodcast.com. We'd love to hear your feedback. You can find out more about Judith and visit her on her website at judithmorgan.com, and you can find Nicola at nicolacairncross.com.